Well, ladies and gentlemen, looks like we have another example of what happens when you give Sony way too much credit, man. Sony decides to want to come out and completely screw over Steam and PC players by making something mandatory that was never mandatory in the first place. We have an article here from Bounding Into Comics with a headline that reads, Sony is now requiring Helldivers 2 players on PC to link Steam and PlayStation accounts in order to access the game, and says this is our main way to protect players from griefing and abuse.
You're a fibber.
I'm a what?
Fibber.
Okay.
Liar.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, the meltdown that's happening over this is actually pretty damn substantial. And honestly, I gotta say, rightfully so. What's happening here is just another example of Sony deciding to bait and switch people. You decided to have a game release with a non-mandatory connecting of Steam and PSN in order to play, and then all of a sudden, now you want to make it mandatory after you took people's money well in advance, mind you. It's not like this game came out yesterday. It's not like it came out a week ago. This game has been out for a while, and now that you took all the money and you're probably at the peak amount of players you're gonna have, now you want to make this move to bolster your PSN numbers. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an absolute bait and switch, and we're gonna get into it. So let's get into this article, guys, from Bounding Into Comics. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. Now, let's be very clear. One thing I want to say before right off the bat: this game's amazing, okay? Helldivers 2 is an amazing game. That's not what we're discussing. A lot of people want to be disingenuous and say, you're really going to stop playing an amazing game because they're making you connect to PSN? Stop it. We know it's an amazing game. We've said it's an amazing game. There's no reason for anybody to say it's not an amazing game. You are being disingenuous. If you want to be okay with a company suddenly mandating something in order to play the game that you fucking purchased after the fact and not mandating it prior to the release of the game, then that is your own prerogative. You're more than welcome to be a corporate shill if you so choose to do so. My issue with this, and a lot of people's issue with this, is the bait and switch. Things like EA, for example, or things that come out like from Ubisoft, for example, they tell you right off the bat that you have to have an account with their services in order to play the game, even if you bought the game on Steam. They tell you up front. Whereas with this, for example, this has always always been optional, okay? It has always been optional with every single PlayStation game. I don't think there's any of them that require you to link your PSN to your Steam in order to play the game. Every single one of them has had the optional ability to do so, but it was never mandatory. This is the only game, to my knowledge, that has suddenly become mandatory, and you have to start asking the question, why is that? So it says, in a frustrating and unnecessary move that serves only to hurt the reputation of the fan-favorite democracy-spreading simulator, Helldivers 2 publisher Sony Interactive Entertainment has announced that following the fixing of apparent technical issues, PC players will not be required to link their Steam account to a PlayStation network in order to play the game. This soon-to-be-implemented change to Helldivers 2 terms of service was first revealed to the public via a post made by SIE to the game's official Steam and Twitter pages on May 2nd. It says, attention Helldivers, wrote Sony, due to technical issues at the launch of Helldivers 2, we allowed the linking requirements for Steam accounts to the PlayStation Network account to be temporarily optional. That grace period will now expire. It was never temporary optional because for every other PlayStation game that's come out on Steam, to my knowledge anyway, if I'm wrong, you can let me know, but it has always said optional. It says, in defense of this move, the publisher asserted account linking plays a critical role in protecting our players and upholding the values of safety and security provided on PlayStation and PlayStation Studio games. Let's be very clear, ladies and gentlemen. There is no fucking way that your Steam information is more safe on PlayStation than it is anywhere else, or Steam or whatever. There is no way, by you linking your Steam account to the PlayStation Network, you are absolutely making yourself liable for any security issues that are going to come from PSN. PSN gets hacked more than some urinalists get banged every single day. Let's be real, ladies and gentlemen. You know exactly what I'm saying. This company has been hacked so many times, has had a history of an unbelievable amount of security breaches, has had to do so many different things, different lawsuits and whatnot, to try to make up for what happened with their service time and time again. You guys remember when PlayStation was down for damn near almost a year, if I remember correctly? It is that level of security inability. Like this fucking company, the fact that they actually are trying to tell you that your information is more safer and it somehow somehow encourages more like better value or better safety, better security by linking the two? Yeah, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. That is a complete and utter lie. All they're trying to do is bolster their PlayStation numbers. That's all they're trying to do. It says this is our main way to protect players from griefing and abuse by enabling the banning of players that engage in that type of behavior. They added, it also allows those players that have been banned the right to appeal. Drawing their message to a close, SIE then explained to players that rather than rolling out this change immediately, they'll be doing so gradually over the course of the next 4 weeks. As of May 6, all new Helldivers 2 players on Steam will be required to connect to their Steam account to a PlayStation Network account, said SIE. Current players on Steam will start to see the mandatory login from May 30th and will be required to have a linked Steam and PlayStation Network account by June 1st. Now listen, guys. Listen, I have a PSN, okay? I make that choice as a player to have a PSN. There's people out there that specifically play on PC only. They don't want to have a PSN. They don't even have a PlayStation. There's no reason for them to open themselves up to potential security issues by having a PSN. Absolutely zero. I myself am opening up to those issues by actually having a PSN. You should not be forcing that decision on other people who are playing on a completely different platform. The entire reason you're playing on PC is to avoid consoles in the first place. And now you're trying to force them to make a PSN account that they're never going to use aside from your video game and open themselves up. And also, too, guys, not just themselves, open up their Steam accounts. Some of these people have extremely valuable Steam accounts. I'm talking about accounts that have been around for 1 year. I have the second longest account running right now, right? I believe that the longest running account right now on Steam is about to be 21 years or whatever, right? I'm about to be 20 years on Steam, ladies and gentlemen. I believe in June, ironically Pride Month, I'm gonna have the 20-year badge for Steam, and then everybody else who currently has 20 is gonna have 21. So I'm 1 year behind the oldest accounts that exist on Steam. You mean to tell me that I'm supposed to risk my fucking Steam account to play Helldivers 2? Fuck no, absolutely not. I'm not doing that. It says, while some may question why this development would draw the ire of PC-based Helldivers, after all, a PlayStation Network account is completely free to create, it should be noted that the issue with SIE's new requirements is not one of cost, but one of service. Simply put, the hoops a company requires a customer to jump through in order to enjoy their product, the less likely said customer is to do so. Listen, it's not even about that. It's not even about that, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think it has to do with the fact that, oh, God, you have to sign up for another service in order to play the same game you've already been playing. Yes, that is annoying. Yes, that definitely will, make some people annoyed and not want to go through the hoops. But for the most part, a lot of people are mad because of the bait and switch, ladies and gentlemen. It was never deemed to be required in the first place. They never advertised it as such. They never put it out there as such. It actually said that it was optional in order to connect. It says that you don't have to connect, but it is optional to connect. So now all of a sudden you're going to start mandating people to connect, and that's going to be a big problem. What about the countries that don't have PSN? You guys realize that there's countries out there where they sold Helldivers, but there is no PSN in those countries? What are they going to do? Are you going to make some separate law that they don't have to do anything? So you're going to mandate people who do have PSN, but then you're not going to mandate people who don't have PSN? So whatever happened to security? Whatever happened to that being the reason? It's complete bullshit, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you, this entire thing is a bait and switch to get you to sign up for PlayStation Network. That's all it's for. Just to give more numbers for their investors, just to try to control everything that you're doing in the game. That's what it's for. Even though you are playing on a separate platform, you're playing on PC, you don't have a PS5, for example, and you just want to play on the PC, now you have to have a PSN in order to do it for that one singular game. It's the most stupid thing, considering that none of their other PlayStation releases require you to do so. But I mean, hey, this is what Sony does, right? Sony likes to bait and switch, and then you're going to have disingenuous people online say, well, it's not a big deal. Yeah, it's not a big deal because it doesn't affect you, you fucking retard. That's the thing. Like, a lot of people who say, oh, it's not a big deal, they're the ones who are not affected. So of course it's not a big deal. You probably have a PS5 like I do, so of course it's not a big deal. But for the people out there that don't have a PS5, for the people out there who are hardcore PC gamers, or even myself who has a PS5, I have a PSN, but I refuse to link it to my Steam because there's no way I'm risking a 20-year Steam account on PlayStation Network. Yeah, that shit matters to me. That shit absolutely affects me. And because it doesn't affect you, it doesn't matter to me, man. You could go fuck off with that shit. This is an absolute bait and switch, and I can understand why people are upset. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. And if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.